All right, just want to do a quick mic check one time. Quick mic check one time. All right, let's get into this video, everybody. If my background is a little bit loud, it's because I have the dishwasher running and I actually have my TV on too. I'm going to go turn that off real fast. But let me first pull up my charts for you guys. So I didn't know at first, I didn't know if I wanted to come back and participate in this session because, we do have news at 2 p.m., right? So we have the news at 2 p.m. Don't really know if the news is going to create any type of volatility, mainly because, obviously we got the holidays coming up this week. But, obviously I love trading. So I am here for, I'm here to get all of the action that I could possibly get. All right, I'll be honest with you guys. But if you've seen the screen from this morning, I told you guys that, on a daily time frame, right? On a daily time frame, we did not break past the previous day high or the previous day low. So I was telling you guys that, until we do that, I can't really, expect anything from this market right now. So we still haven't done it even yet. We do have, like I said, we have the news at 2 p.m. And we're going to see what that news can do for us. All right, I'm going to check the 8-hour time frame. You can see on the 8-hour time frame, we just been dancing around this little area right here. Potential breakaway gap on an 8-hour time frame. I'm going to actually box this up real fast. All right, I'm going to label this on an 8-hour, right? That's from the 8-hour time frame. And the reason why I'm labeling this is because if we do get a lot of volatility at 2 p.m., I want to already have this on my chart because I'm not going to want to, toggling through, right? I don't want to have to toggle through. Another thing that I like to pay attention to, and this is just from my own back testing, I haven't heard ICT or anybody talk about this just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if ICT was already aware of this. It's pretty much like an inversion order block, right? It's like an inversion order block. I don't really box them up because, like, if I box everything up on my chart, I'll have a million things on my chart. But I just wanted to box this up just so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. And I'll make this box orange, right? We're looking at this box right here. Now, essentially, at one point in time, this was an order block, right? And then price fell through it. And just like most of ICT concepts, you can use the inversion, right? So if you have a fair value gap and then that fair value gap fails, then now it becomes resistance, right? And vice versa, right? If you was looking at a fair value gap that was once resistance and then the price breaks through, now that fair value gap becomes support, right? Theoretically, based on how ICT teaches. Now, just in my own discoverings and my own learning, my own studying, I came across, just like inversion order block theory, right? I don't know what to call it, but just in my own back testing. And you guys can see that we hit that right here, right? You can see that we hit that right there. Bam, hit that one time, swept some liquidity up there, sold off, right? So these are the type of things, if you was going to try to trade a choppy day like today, you need to be able to be aware of everything that's in the chart. And that's why, we really don't recommend it to everybody to try to catch every single move and try to trade every single day. This green box right here is the 1 hour fair value gap. I'm just going to start labeling stuff. Right? Because, if you guys are looking at my chart and if you're trying to learn from my chart, I want you guys to be able to, see what's going on. Most of the time, my sky blue boxes are going to be first presented fair value gaps. I pretty much use any color for my opening range gap, and then my new week opening gap are most of the time going to always be purple. So I'm going to change this color right here to, let's just change that to this color right here, right? So before the news at 2 p.m., I'm just essentially trying to see where can we go, right? I'm just looking at some previous price action, trying to essentially assess, okay, how bullish are we? How bearish are we, right? So I'm looking at things like this opening range gap, right? This big white box that's on my chart. Right, this is the midpoint of this opening range gap. So notice how the midpoint notice how the midpoint is being respected by all of these candles, right? We haven't seen a body even get close to closing at or above the midpoint of this opening range gap. And the reason why that is important is because we don't have that same type of price action, right? I'm going to remove this Fibonacci off of my chart real fast. My charts are already very crowded. I'll try not to leave them too crowded, Just go ahead and delete this alert. But as I was saying, we don't really have this same type of deliverance on this order block. I'm sorry, not order block, but open the range gap, right? It's just white box that's down here. If you can't see it, I'm going to make it very white, right? So we have an opening range gap that's down here that I was just referring to. And then we have an opening range gap that's up here, right? Both very white. Now, I'm not going to leave it like this because, I want, for teaching purposes, I want you guys to be able to see what I'm showing you. All right, so we're going to change these back down. But I want you guys to be able to see where the boxes that I'm talking about, right? Because we're essentially in this range where we're bouncing in between these two opening range gaps. And that's why I tell you guys to use the opening range gaps, right? Use the new week opening gaps. A lot of people, when they learn ICT, they just focus on like fair value gaps for some reason. fair value gaps are really good for like managing your trade when you're already inside of a trade. But when you're actually on the higher time frames, you want to be using like the opening range gaps. You want to be using the new week opening gaps and the new day opening gaps, right? But to get back to what I was essentially trying to say is that we don't have this, like, we touched the midpoint of this opening range gap already. We haven't touched the midpoint of this opening range gap just yet. And then we also know that on the daily time frame, right, this red box right here, this is like a volume imbalance on the daily time frame, right? We can make this a little bit more red, right? I'm going to try to do my best to like make sure y'all can see everything that I'm talking about, right? Because everything matters, right? That's why my chart is so crowded. It's not crowded just because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm looking at gaps in the market that are being respected, and I'm looking at where is the liquidity, right? Where could the market go next? If we have news at 2 p.m., obviously I don't know where the market is going to go, but just based on this right here, and then right, look at all of these things we're touching on the 8-hour time frame, because we're on the 8-hour time frame, by the way. This is the 8-hour time frame. We have a potential breakaway gap up here. We touch this, right? These candles are not closing. Even if we was to drop down into, like, let's say the 7-hour, right? Really don't matter. We can drop down into the 4-hour time frame, right? Something that most of you are probably more comfortable using, the 4-hour. Look at these bodies, right? None of these bodies have closed on top of this 1-hour fair value gap, right? Because that's where I got this fair value gap from. If we go to the 1-hour chart, you guys can see this comes from this fair value gap right here. So when we had this wick that pulled through this fair value gap, some of y'all probably think that it invalidated this fair value gap just because it blew through this stop loss that would have been right here. All right, let me zoom in. All right, normally when we're using fair value gaps, we will use either this stop loss right here or this stop loss right here. So price did not blow through both of these levels, right? Price did not blow through both levels, which means what? We're still respecting these PD arrays that are going to the downside, right? Like, that's what it's pretty much telling me, right? We're still respecting all of these PD arrays that's going to the downside. So I'm just going to measure out this range on the 1-hour time frame. Surely enough, just looking at this little small range right here that we're working in, that we've been working in all day, this 1-hour fair value gap is definitely in a premium zone. So it looks to be holding price down. If I was to go to the 4-hour time frame and use this range, right, because this is a much more proper range to me, in my opinion. So I'd rather just use this entire range. When you look at it like this, now you realize that this 1 hour fair value gap is actually not inside of the premium zone. So what do we have next, right? What do we have next resting inside of the premium? We have this 8 hour, right? Because this comes from the 8 hour chart. PBAG means potential breakaway gap, right? I don't know if it's going to be a breakaway gap or not, but regardless, we know it's up there. We have it measured out so that at 2 p.m., if the market just, does something funky and then spikes all the way up here and just stops magically, now we can know that we probably could take a sell to sell this market down, right? And that's if we even get any price action. We don't even know if anything is going to happen, right? I told you guys, trading the news is very tricky. It's very different. But when you add the holidays in there and everything like that, makes it even more crazy. So we got to be aware of all of those things. Ultimately, if you just stick to this one rule, right, wait for liquidity to be taken on a daily time frame, either the high or the low, and then from there, that's when you start looking for a trade. If you just follow that simple rule, right, while you're learning all of this like ICT stuff, it will make life much easier on you as a new student, or maybe you've been learning for years but you haven't found consistency yet, or whatever it may be. It will definitely help you to just first understand daily bias. That's why I talk about it so much on this channel, because I really want you guys to understand daily bias, being able to have a better understanding of where the market is going to go for the day. That's like super important. And you're not going to always get it right. And sometimes it's going to require you to not trade, right? Like the market could just stay within this candle all day. And for a lot of us, myself included, that's annoying, right? We want to trade. We come to the market, we want to trade. Nobody wants to just be staring at the charts all day, right? But in order for you to get to where you want to go as far as consistency, having consistency, whether it's with prop firms or your own real account, you have to like come up with a system. I'm not saying you have to follow my system, but you have to create a system, and then you have to actually stick to it, because that's going to matter so much. Even when you finally get your prop firm account funded, if you want to make consistent payouts, if you want to have that account for more than a month or 2 months, like you have to do the same things over and over and over again. And if you're making a lot of mistakes, you have to eventually learn how to trim those, trim that fat, right? Trim those mistakes out of your program. That's all we're trying to do over here, you guys. So the reason why I'm even going on this long lecture is because I feel like I see a lot of people on the internet, and they're telling people so many different things and what to do and what not to do. But I feel like it's very misleading, some of these people. I think it's very misleading. They're telling people that, all you need is a bull flag. All you need is a bear flag and all of this stuff. I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with any of that. I'm not trying to act like ICT is just a holy grail and anything like that. But for me personally, the most success I've had was from learning on ICT YouTube channel. All right, so that's why I have such a passion myself, even though ICT always tells people, don't try to teach it. Don't teach it, you guys. You're going to make it harder for students. Me personally, I still feel like I have to go against them and still teach it, because I studied it, right? It's my experience. And I may be able to teach it to somebody differently than ICT, because when I was putting a lot of people onto ICT YouTube channel, one thing that they all said was like they didn't like, the way he was teaching it, I guess. I felt like a lot of people was lazy because, I enjoyed the way he taught it. I thought that he put a lot of work into his YouTube, those like slideshows and everything like that. I thought it was nice. But, obviously everybody, like I said, I don't know. A lot of people they want a lot these days. So the point is, I'm going to try to teach it to you guys the best way that I can. We recently just made a really big investment into this PC, the one that I am screaming on now. The quality of my videos have gone up dramatically. I can, do these screams and, not have to worry about losing signal on the road or anything like that. So I think it's pretty cool. I'm going to really be dropping a lot of videos this year for you guys. And I really do hope that they help. And I hope that you guys can leave a comment down below and let me know if my efforts are actually making a difference or not. And, even if it's not, it's also for me as well, you guys. I love documenting my journey for myself. I love going back to watch some of my old videos when I thought that I was cooking and I thought that I was, posting a video that was looking cool. And then I look back on that trade and be like, man, that trade was horrible. Like I had a million lots on there and it moved for 10 points and I thought 10 points was a big move. And, so I do this for y'all, but I also do this for me and myself as well, you guys. I'm just trying to build the brand over here. Obviously, a lot of y'all know that I'm a truck driver. And, I feel for my fellow truckers out there on the road. I feel like it's hard being a truck driver. And it's really just hard just working a regular job in general, man. So I feel for all of my 9-to-5ers out there. And I really just, I would want to help as many people as I can, man. So I'm not going to really lecture for too much longer. I was just measuring out this range right here from swing high to swing low because we are pushing back up to the premium. There's not really much information I can use, mainly only because, we have news coming out in about 26 minutes, right? So I don't really want to use any of this price action. But like, let's say if we didn't have the news, this little sweep of liquidity followed by some breakaway gaps, that would have been real significant. I would have been really paying attention to that. But as of now, I feel like the only thing we can really do is just wait until the news comes out. Maybe look at the 5-minute chart. Let me see what the 5-minute chart is looking like. Yeah, I like looking at the 5-minute a little bit better. So we're just going to be watching the 5-minute, hanging out. If anybody pulls up, I'll be here to chat with you guys. But we're just going to see what happens until market close. Oh, I got a message from Asha Chronicle. What's up, bro? I had a payout and kept trading the account, being greedy, man. Now I lost it, bro. Damn, bro. That's tough. So frustrated. I've done this like 10 times, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. You know what? I'm so glad you can even admit that, bro, cuz like recently I blew my E8 funded account, right? I had a 200K E8 funded account, bro. Imagine I was only like $4,000 away from getting a payout, and I blew that account from being greedy as well, bro. So I can definitely feel your pain on that one. A lot of up and down, choppy conditions at 9:30. I've been getting most of my wins during pre-market. Um, Pre-market was more smooth. Well, shit, shout out to you, bro. Like me personally, I don't really trade pre-market. Like I'm on a real strict plan around here, but I'm like it's kind of sort of a lie a little bit. It really all depends. I don't really trade it all the time, but if there's a time where I feel like the market has like swept like a really higher time frame, like a daily high or daily or a weekly high or something like that, something on a daily, weekly or monthly, and then like let's say the next day the market is setting up for something big, and I feel like I have no other choice but to get in pre-market. I may take a little position pre-market, but most of the time I try to stay away from pre-market. But yeah, man, I feel your pain, bro. At least you had got a payout before you blew that account, man. Just keep your head up, bro. Like you definitely gonna bounce back, man. And do me a favor as well. Drop a like on the video if you don't mind. I would greatly appreciate that. Yeah, man, that greed, bro. Greed is tough, bro. Like I was just telling my girlfriend, I said like my goal for this year is to risk no more than like 1% on any given trade, and really not even 1%, bro. Like my goal is to risk about a little bit closer to like a half of a percent or a little bit over a half of a percent, like per trade idea, bro. One entry, that's it. I don't need to have multiple entries. I'm just like, cause it's so easy to overtrade. It's so easy to like get greedy, especially when you're funded. But even when I'm going through my evaluation stages, like it's tough, bro, because I just want to get through the eval stages and I want to be funded. I don't want to have to be doing the eval for a month or 2 months. So just have to learn how to be patient, bro, for real. It's truly tough, man. Man, one trade a day is like I feel like it's a good rule, but I kind of also feel like it's like being too hard on yourself. Like having one trade and one just doing that every day, that's going to be like tough. I feel like it's a good goal to have though. You might as well try to, be the best you can be, but I feel like for me personally, it just comes down to like just not risking too much on any given idea. Because, for the long term, like for the long term, like, all right, so this is pretty much what had happened to me, you guys. I got funded with Alpha Capital. I got funded 100K with Alpha Capital, and they pretty much put me in the risk management group because they felt like I was over leveraging, which obviously I was. I was trying to get through my evaluations. So I pretty much can't risk more than 1% on any given trade. So pretty much I have to risk like close to like a half of a percent because of slippage and everything else. And long story short, I have managed that account. That's the account that I just recently got that $13,500 payout with. So I have managed that account much better than all of my other accounts. And it's mainly because like I'm on that restriction, I can't risk too much. So in my mind, I'm like, damn, if I just could risk do this pretty much with all of my accounts, I'll be like a millionaire within like a year or two because I won't be blowing accounts and I'll be getting consistent payouts. But to be honest with you, one of the hardest things for me is like not over leveraging. Like I can go 2 or 3 weeks without over leveraging, but then it's like that one day where I just end up crashing out and just like I don't know. It's crazy, man. Chronicle said, have to think long term. The minute we focus too much on the present, it's not good. It's true, bro. It's true. Like, man, I feel like that's one thing that have helped me, even with my funded accounts. Like, I'm not getting these accounts funded just to make one payout. I'm trying to actually be one of the first people on YouTube to scale a account up to like $2 million or however much you can scale them up for. Obviously, that'll take like 2 or 3 years to actually scale a account, but that's my goal. Like, I want to be able to manage all of my funded accounts for 2 or 3 years plus. I'm not looking for 2 or 3 green days. I'm looking for like 6 months of winning. 6 green months, 12 green months, stuff like that. So I agree. I agree with you on that one, bro. What if you don't mind me asking, and anybody can leave a comment down below to this question. What prop firms are you using right now? Are you using futures prop firms at all? And also, I guess it's like a two-part question. Do you like futures prop firms more than the CFD prop firms? Um, Chronicle said, "Yeah, once you go on the streak, it's easy to start over leveraging and not practicing risk management." Yeah, that's true, bro. Man, that's so. It's like I, it's crazy that the market has to like humble us for us to be humble. I wish I can sit up here and lie and say, man, like I'll be disciplined, bro. Bro, sometimes I have to get humble, bro. Like it may be in the form of losing a whole account. Obviously I try not to do that, but I'm just got to be honest with y'all, man. Like I literally blew a funded account that I was up like damn near 7,000 in this 200K account. All I needed was like 4 more thousand, 4 more K to get a payout, and I fucking crashed out and blew the whole account just because you know just not being disciplined, bro, being too greedy. So he said Apex. He said Apex rules piss him off. He wants to transition to take profit trader. Man, yeah, Apex, bro. I'm not going to lie. Like And this is coming from a guy that's an affiliate with Apex, right? So if you're going to use Apex, use code trucking, obviously. But I'm going to keep it real. Like, I don't recommend Apex to people. I just, like, bro, I had 300K accounts funded with Apex. This year, earlier this year, I didn't really do that well on them. And I just feel like, honestly, it's just mainly, it's my fault, honestly, because you can get payouts with those accounts. Let me just be clear on that. You can get payouts with, some of those, like, accounts like Apex, but it's just so hard, bro. Like why would you even want to take yourself through the pain of having to do all of that? I would much rather just do like Alpha Capital or Funder Pro. E8 Markets was good until they recently changed their account types for the CFD models, but I had to give up on Apex, bro. And then it's like, I don't. The other thing I don't like about futures accounts, man, they try to get you with the whole monthly thing too, and I feel like it's honestly just to like make traders rush, bro. So I don't know. I don't hate futures. I just wish they would do better, man. Right now, right now I'm funded 100K with Alpha Capital. I have a 200K account with Funder Pro, and then I have a 100K account with FTMO. So me, I'm still like rocking with the CFD prop firms, and it's not because I don't want to. I actually do want to use futures, but I feel like futures, man, they done made it so tight, bro, and then trying to charge people monthly and activation fees and all of this crazy stuff. And then they only give you like on a 50K account, you get about what 4% of overall drawdown. 4% overall drawdown is disrespectful, bro. I'm not gonna lie. And then making it trailing, then you got a trailing drawdown on top of that. That's also disrespectful. And then even after you get the account funded, you have to build a buffer before you can even get a payout. Like when you think about that, yeah, bro, the copy trading, I'm not gonna lie, bro. The copy trading, it almost makes it worth it with Apex. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I wasn't about to buy like 20 Apex accounts. You know, just the other day. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. But once I did the math, I was like, I can get 20 accounts for $20, right? That was when they had that deal. So I'm like, I can get about 50K accounts for $20. That's $400. But the problem is, I think like the all-in cost was like 65. So after I get them funded, that's $1,300, and that's if I do all of that within the first month. If I have to pay an extra month, that's going to be like an extra 1,800. All in cost being about 2,100. If I have to go an extra month, I was like, no, that's not worth it. But maybe after I get a couple more payouts with like Alpha Capital or something, maybe I'll like double back and get some Apex accounts. But I think I would even still like those Lucid Flex accounts. Honestly, I don't know. It's really hard. It's really hard to really know which one is the best. I did get a payout with my funded futures, and that payout was like extremely fast. So I'm not affiliated with my funded futures, but shout out to them because that payout was extremely fast. I feel like that Lucid Flex account is a really good one. Funding ticks. I pretty much like any futures account that have like just a one time payment. I'm not trying to do like a monthly deal, but even after they made it a one time payment, they did the whole like, oh, now you can only get a cap payout of $1,000, which kind of sucks. So that's why I said like with with futures accounts, bro, it's kind of garbage, honestly. But we gonna see though. I might dibble and dabble back into that game one of these days. We got 9 minutes until 2 p.m. news, so I'm excited to see what's gonna happen, if anything. Make sure y'all drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Bro, and that's truly Chronicle, that truly is the key, bro. Like with those accounts, you especially with Apex, because they got the intraday 30% stuff, so it's like you can't even be down more than 30%. But that is the secret. I think with those accounts, you have to like really be patient. I think it forces people to scalp with those type of accounts, but I think like you have to, even when you're scalping, you have to try to pick the bigger and better days to even like scalp and go for moves, because you really have to be quick on those accounts. But I think that like with Apex, once you get past like building a buffer, like on that funded stage, once you build that buffer, I think that's where all of the fun really begins. I think everything else is like boot camp. You know, it's like you're really struggling trying to hold up until you can build that buffer and do everything else. Melissa Naomi, she said, I've never traded futures. Hello, Chad. Happy holidays to all traders. Happy holidays to you, Melissa Naomi. We love to see you in the chat. I don't believe you though when you say you haven't traded futures though. What are you doing on this channel if you haven't traded futures? I don't believe that. We're just waiting for news that's supposed to be coming out in 7 minutes, you guys. We got 2 p.m. FOMC news. I'm going to go ahead and log into all of my Trade Locker accounts. Y'all know I got a 100K funded with Alpha Capital. I recently got a 200K account with Funder Pro, and then I recently got a 100K account with FTMO. Links in the description below. Make sure to use code TRUCKIN if you guys are going to go check any of these companies out. Y'all know that E8 Markets broke my heart. They had some of the best plans that was available in the market, and for some reason, they just decided that they didn't want to be number one and that they wanted to fall off completely. So there's nothing that I can do about that. Make sure y'all drop a like on this video if you haven't already. We're going to be getting into it real soon, you guys. 2 p.m. We got the news coming out. I'm going to be giving y'all an update on everything we was just talking about, some of the key levels that I'm looking for right now. Yeah, I think we might get some good action for this 2 p.m. news, y'all. I think we gonna see, man. You know, it's FOMC. I don't even know what the news is supposed to be about. Anybody who know me knows I really don't care what the news is actually about. I'm just trying to see what type of volatility that is going to create, because it's a red folder news event. So some of the key levels I marked out for you guys already. We're going to run back through it real fast. All right, on an 8-hour time frame, we have this gap in the market up here, you guys. All right, on an 8-hour time frame, we got this gap. I will make it a little bit darker so y'all can see it. All right, and this is a potential breakaway gap. All right, we're going to have that noted on our charts so that, you know, in real time we can keep up with everything. We have this 1 hour fair value gap right here. That's just green box right here, you guys. I'll make it a little bit darker so everybody can see. All right. We have that. We had that on our chart ever since from yesterday. We were screaming yesterday as well. And we made a note that on the 1 hour time frame, this one you know, we got the opening range gap that's holding price down. Right? Notice how none of these bodies on this 8 hour time frame, even if we was to drop down to like a 4 hour or 1 hour time frame, notice how none of these bodies have closed at or above the midpoint of this opening gap range from December the 12th, 2025. Right? So we have a lot of things that's holding price down. Right? So I'm building the narrative that, when news come out, it could just want to go down here. Right? On a daily time frame, this red box is a volume imbalance, right? This red box. And then we have the opening range gap from December the 15th, 2025 down here as well. I noted to you guys earlier in the video that we have not touched the midpoint of this opening range gap right here, you guys. So because it's the New Year's, everything like that, we're not really expecting too much to happen, to be honest with you guys. If you guys just look at the 1 hour time frame, you will know, you can see right here that we've been in consolidation ever since, Monday at 2 a.m., right? Monday since 2 a.m., we've been in consolidation, right? So we're not really expecting too much to happen, but those are some of the key levels I have drawn out for you guys. And then the last thing, last but not least, I took it off of my chart earlier, but I need to put it back on there. If you go to the daily time frame, right, we measured out this wick right here on the daily time frame with our Fibonacci tool. We measured that out. We can lock our Fibonacci tool on there. And the reason why that's important is because as we drop down into the lower time frames, like the hourly chart or whatever, we're looking at, right? Look at how even on the hourly, right, the midpoint of this wick is right here. Look at this. This is the midpoint. Look at how these bodies have closed at that midpoint of that wick, right? The bodies haven't really closed below. So until that happened, we could just be bouncing around in here for the rest of the week, right? So we need to see a body close below here. That can give us a sign that the market is probably ready to keep going down, but we just pretty much have to wait and see what's going to happen, right? It's 1:59. News should be coming out at any moment. We're going to switch to the 1 minute time frame so we can see. All right, it seemed like we got our 2 p.m. candle, but it don't seem to be doing much. It do not seem to be doing much, you guys. So we are looking at the 1 minute time frame. All right, look like we're getting some type of action off of this 2 p.m. candle. Well, okay, I guess it's 2:02 now, but we're getting some late reactions. It look like it might be it. Maybe you want to say something?
Hello, fellow traders.
Well, that's my girl, y'all. She want to speak. She want to speak in the mic. There's nothing going on. I feel like D Money. Now I'm just here slaving. I ain't got shit to do. I gotta, I gotta entertain y'all, or PW ain't gonna pay me my weekly salary. Oh wow, we're finally starting to get some candles moving to the downside. Was I not saying I was looking for some downside movement? Nobody no, so don't nobody remember now? No, just kidding. Still haven't really found anything to take a trade off of. It just may not be a day to trade, honestly. We got so much liquidity building up all around here. But like I said, man, it's almost New Year's. I'm not going to really try to force this market, to do too much. We had a really good day yesterday. There's no reason to even think about giving anything back to this type of price action. Right, babe? They think they slick. They thought they was going to move us around and do nothing all day, and we was going to just be in there over leveraging. How much you make? $10. Better than nothing. It's a couple of Coney dogs. I'll take it. We need everything. I'm just going to run this scream out for a little bit longer. If we don't get nothing by 3 p.m., then I'll just have to, skedaddle. Oh, yeah. Because, at the end of the day, it's the 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st. right? I don't really think we gonna really see much happen tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow is pretty much a bank holiday for the German banks, right? The Japanese banks, pretty much everything over there on that side of the world is a bank holiday. Then pretty much Thursday is a bank holiday. And then obviously we're not going to trade the day after a bank holiday. It just doesn't make sense either. So today might be our only last day to get a decent little move in, is pretty much what I'm trying to say. Maybe tomorrow it can have one little last movement, but to be honest, if we don't see anything today, if we don't really see anything, today, then it's just going to be over with. Man, this is definitely not what I wanted for the 2 p.m. news. I thought we was going to at least see something happen. Goodness gracious. They about to put me to sleep with this price action. They definitely done figured out a way to waste my time for the holidays. Y'all know what, man? I'm out, y'all. I'm. Hey, look, I'm out of here, bro. I don't know if it's the rose that I just got done sipping, or I don't know if it's the end of the year, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not about to sit around here and be waiting for nothing to happen all day, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to catch one more trade, but Chronicle said, "Isn't FOMC when it takes 30 minutes before volatility kicks in?" Yeah, I was gonna wait to 2:30, bro. All right, that's what I'll do. Just because Chronicle said something, I'm gonna wait until 2:30. If we don't get no volatility kick in by then, bro, I'm done. It's over. I'm not. Listen, y'all. When you have lost as much as me from trading financially and emotionally, whenever you get a chance to not trade, you're taking it. All right. Don't get me wrong. I love trading, but I'm not about to sit here and watch this. This is ridiculous. So we gonna see, man. Chronicle giving us hope. At least we got Chronicle in the chat entertaining us. Yeah, I lied about the 30 minutes, y'all. I ain't gonna be able to hold the door for that long. So appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. See y'all, and more than likely, probably gonna see y'all in 2026. I hope everybody have a good end of the year. And we're gonna come back 2026, be stronger, be better than ever, y'all. Chronicle said it's FOMC or Fed Powell red folder. One of them. It takes 30 minutes for it to kick in. Yeah, bro. I don't. They've been messing up the like forex factory stuff for so long now. I don't even know what's going on. Like they be saying news is going to come out at 10 a.m. It comes out at 9:47. Like we don't be knowing what to expect. Which is just another reason why I feel like it's time for me to be done. I don't want to like put myself in a position to try to trade nothing and then end up taking a loss, especially after just I made 1% yesterday on all of my accounts, y'all. So I can't be mad at ending the year off with a 1% day if that's what I have to do. Yo, my Discord, I don't have a Discord. I have a Telegram though. I do have a Telegram. It's pretty much like a Signals Telegram. It's free for now. I'm allowing like 100 people to join for free. Some of my like early supporters, they get like a free pass, and then eventually it's going to be like paid. It is what it is. If people don't want to pay, that's fine. But I can't just be giving out signals for free and shit. Like it takes a lot of time and energy to be giving out signals and even going live. Like I got a lot of respect for people who go live every day and try to help other traders out, try to help other people figure it out. Shout out to them. Me personally, I'm going to give you guys as much free content as I can, but obviously I got to pay the bills, so it is what it is. But make sure y'all go in that description. The link to my Telegram is going to be in that description box. Man, I actually thought we was going to get some movement right there. It dropped off a little bit and it pulled back up. Yeah, I think it's time for this market to make a move or something, man. Make sure y'all drop a like on the video if you're just now tuning in. We're just waiting around, seeing if we're going to get some type of trading opportunity for the last hour and a half of the day. Look like we're getting a push up, but so far this little gap right here on a 1 minute time frame, I don't believe that it's a breakaway gap, but so far price have not been able to get inside of this gap right here on a 1 minute time frame. So let's see what's going to happen. Do price finally want to get up there into this price? And then if we get up there, are we going to get up into this gap, right? So let's see. Bless you. It's like every time price get close to this gap, it just do not want to go touch inside of this gap. If this was a normal day, I would have used this gap, put my stop loss right here. It would have been like this. I would have put my stop loss right here. If it was a normal day, right? Even this right here is a 1 to 7. And if I was going to target the red box, this would have been a 20 to 1 risk to reward ratio. Maybe I would have put it higher though. Maybe I would have put it at the top of the, so it's still a 7 to 1. If that was a normal day, but I'm trying to wait and see. I'm trying to wait until 2:30 to see, if we're going to make a move or not, right? If we don't make a move by 2:30, I'm done. I refuse to let this market waste my time. But tenderism. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. 10 times out of 10 is probably gonna be some chop for the rest of the day. I was hoping that I could have at least caught one move, but we haven't done anything all day, so man, you got 3 more minutes, bro. If this market don't make 1,000 point drop within the next 3 minutes, I'm done. If we don't fall 1,000 points within the next 3 minutes, I'm out of here, bro. All right, maybe not 1,000 points, but we better do something at 2:30. That 2:30 candle better be looking like it's ready to manipulate somebody. Make sure y'all drop a like on the video if y'all haven't already. We're just in the cut trying to find us a trade. Like the degenerates that we are. We're supposed to be on vacation. We're not even supposed to be trading. Make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So far, we still haven't touched this green box right here, which is the potential breakaway gap on the 1 minute time frame. If I scroll over here, this is the gap that we're looking at. Price have made so many attempts to get inside of this gap, right? We got one attempt, two attempts right here, now 3 attempts. Still haven't been able to, get inside of this box. That's why I said on a normal day, I would have got in like right where price is at now. I would have put my stop loss up here. So that's about a 20-point stop loss, nothing too crazy. And I would have targeted down here, just the midpoint of this box. And that would have been an 8-to-1 risk to reward. Not saying it was going to actually win, but on a normal day, I'm just saying that's how I would have been looking at that. We got about 1 more minute until 2:30. Let's see if the volatility picks up. If the volatility picks up, I'm going to stay until 4 p.m. But if not, then I think I'm going to just be done for the day. All right, it's been a good year for me. I hope it's been a good year for you all as well. Even if you didn't make any profits this year, I hope that you learned a lot. I hope that you was better than the 2024 you. All right. And if not, we're just going to do better next year. Subscribe to the channel because I'm going to help a lot of people out. I'm going to help a lot of people figure this out. If you haven't figured it out already, subscribe to the channel because I'm definitely going to be talking to you guys a lot, doing a lot of intimate, learning sessions with the intent to help people out, you guys. So don't seem like we got any volatility right there at 2:30, you guys. So that's going to be the video for me. I hope. Wait a minute. All right, see, they keep getting me excited just to let me down, you guys. So I'm going to end the video right there. Enjoy the rest of my year, you guys. Enjoy the vacation. I hope y'all do the same. Until the next time.